Hello, welcome back to part 2. So in the last video I'd just finished making the PCB up. I've now 3D printed a case, and that's the lid. And I've got a front panel that I've double-sided taped a piece of acetate, red acetate. And I've got the back panel. We've printed the cutouts for the power supply and serial port. They just go into slots at the front and back. That's the front back one. And the serial port bolt to that, and there's your power supply. The front slots in there. You can just see the LEDs. We'll try and get a demo strip with all the LED names on later on. I've got a serial port header cable with an IDC on one end and a DB9 on the other. That bolts into there, and that goes to your IDC port. I have had a go with this, but I had a bit of an issue with cabling. It transpires that there's two pinout types for motherboard serial headers. There is a DTK Intel and an AT Everex pinout on motherboards. This modem uses the DTK version, which is this here with your slot on the right hand side. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The other version, I believe, numbers it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's one confusion I had for a start. So the cable I bought is the AT Everex, so I've got to change that around. I have changed that around already, but to suit this serial cable I bought for the BBC Micro, which turns out to be a Null modem cable for hooking up to a PC. So basically Null modem cables swaps your RTX and TX lines and CTS RTS lines. So I've resoldered that to cross them back over, but obviously that won't work on other computers unless I remember that they were crossed over. So another point to note, BBC Micro Null modem cables come in two flavours. I'll post the two pinouts, well, I'll put the two pinouts on screen. Believed that this pinout here for Null modem is the preferred method, and that's not the cable I've got the other cable. Again, it did work linking PCs together. It did work eventually once I figured it out. But what I'm going to do, I've bought a bunch of serial DB9 plugs in a kit from Amazon. I'm going to make it, I'm going to cut that off because it's moulded. I'm going to make it to the preferred version as per star.forums. I'll post a link to the forums in the description. So I'm going to convert that back to a straight modem cable. I'm going to convert that back to this proper straight through pinout, so then we'll have a straight modem cable. But I would like a crossover cable, no modem cable, so I've bought a couple of straight through serial cables. I'm going to convert one of these into a null modem for the beeb. So the information I've gleaned, there's your standard RS232 pinouts for the 9-pin. So the IDX pin arrangement and where it goes to on the DB9. And that's the pinout for the modem cable to BBC. So I'm going to start doing the cables now. Let's see how we get on. Let's chuck the soldering iron on. Oh, by the way, the case I've put on Thingiverse. I'll post a link to that as well. So I've redone that while the camera was charging. I will hot glue it once I've checked it works. just to make sure there's no potential for shorts. Now we're ready. Oh, that's the wiring diagram for the pinouts, looking from the back of the BBC and the back of the socket, so it's looking that way for your reference. That's the colours I've used. I don't know if there's any convention to the colours, but as long as I know what they are. And now I'm going to solder up the 9-pin in and put it in one of these cheapo cases, and then that should be straight through modem cable. So let's zoom out a bit. First thing I'm going to do is check how long I need to cut the outer sheet from. In these kits there's a little clamp that goes in this part here, so you've got to allow for that. So if I go somewhere around there, just put a slight dig in with a sharp knife, a bit more around there. And then just pull. There's a shield on it. Now there's a ground shield there, which should be tied to ground, but I'm not sure about the other end. On this end it's tied to the casing, so I'm just going to fold that away for a bit. Now if I look at what colours I'm using, I'm going to cut off the ones I'm not using, so that's grey, purple, using red, not using green, not using blue, what I'm going to do, I'll flux that shielding cable up. And one at a time, I'm going to tin up. Each wire. Okay, so that's the wire tinned up. It's not too bad. I'm going to tin up the contacts at the back of the DB9 next. So try to get everything in the camera shot as well. want to do is get a big blob of solder up. And let it fill up. One side. Turn it over. Looking at the pins from the back. Let's get the magnifier. Okay, the numbering for this is turn that up a bit. Pin 1 at this end to 5 at the top. Pin 6 at this end to 9 at the bottom. So if you just remember that, looking from the back. So obviously the black wire is ground. Look at my schematic. Ground goes to pin 5. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Jesus. My hands are probably get in the way now. Yeah, that's it. Now next, so where it goes to pin 2, try and get the red out. Red to pin 2. So do red and yellow goes at the top, brown and orange at the bottom, out of the way. So I'll get the yellow one in while we're here. That's at pin 3. And red to pin 2. So that's the top row one. So now we're going to turn it over to the bottom row. So pin 6 is at this end, I think. So that's the straight through cable. I'm just going to coil out carefully. So the IDC cable, obviously there's your key, so it goes in like that. So the red one, the red cable at the end is pin 1, next one will be pin 2, which will be pin 1, pin 2 and so on. This is only got 9 cables because pin 10 isn't used in the serial. Usually it's just blanked out as a way of keying a socket, but you've already got a key on there anyway. Obviously it's a bit longer as well, so what I'm going to do, I'm not going to cut it short because there's plenty of room in the case. And if I knacker it up by cutting it too short and knacker it up. So that's that cut off. I'm going to use a fresh connector. I need my third end. So we need on the IDX header pin, starting from the right, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 9. So that's 3. Don't need 1 and 2, so I'm just going to snip them off. Anything I don't need I'm just going to snip off. He says, there you go, back a bit. So there's 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 4, 5 and 6. Let's just check, sanity check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8 not required, 9, 1 and 2 not required, that's correct. I don't know if you'll be able to see this. You could just about see you got numbers on the back. You do also get numbers internally. But I don't know if you can just about see some numbers in there as well, which are the same, they follow through. So pin 1 there is pin 1 on that side. Okay, so there's your header cable, pin out, IDX DB9. I've followed the names through from the modem cables, that's just straight through anyway, so it'll be the same names. You need to be as quick as you can with these connectors as well, because the plastic will melt. Goes on some eyes. What one is 6 and 4? Pin 3 goes to pin 2. So that's pin 3, 5. On the top. turn that over now. Let's just check I've got pin 5 there. 6 is it? So 4 goes to 7. Goes there, so we can get this in there. A little bit off the end of that one. Should go in now. Well, power of deduction, that goes to 8. Right, let's have a serial cable and RDC header done. So next up we'll assemble the modem. That. So first thing I'll do,
yeah, keep through back there. No, I don't think you've got to file a tiny amount off. Stand off there, and what's on the back. And there's a nut on it. Finish it off.
Do it too tight PLI because it does compress. Get that in there. So that's still a bit long, but just going to put that down there like that. Put the top on. Not going to screw it together yet. I'll turn it the right way. There you go, that's finished. Right, so beeb's out. My pride and joy. I'll boot it up. If I type star ROMs, you'll notice 4 and 5, slots 4 and 5 and 8 and 9 are missing. Those are the volatile SRAM slots. So I've downloaded a piece of software called Commstar, which seems to be popular for doing this stuff. So what I've got to do is, I've got down the floppy, I have to load it from a floppy into one of those empty ROM slots. So I'll do that now. If I do use it regular, I can put it into one of the permanent ones and swap something I don't use regular. So if I catalogue this disk, star.starcat, the file there called C-star, that's Commstar. What I have to do, I have to put that from the floppy into one of those empty RAM slots. So I'm going to start SST C-star, which is the file name on the disk, slot 5. Let that do its thing. So it writes checks and okay. I have to break now. Hit break now, because otherwise it won't see that one until I do a break. So break, that was a soft reboot if you like. Start ROMs again. And there you go, in slot 5, Commstar 9057. To boot that up, star C star, And there's your paste Commstar software. You can see some lights already in the modem. Fortunately, you can see it through the top as well. I'm going to mask that off somehow, or get my black case printed. So what you need to do now, initialize I, press I. So you can select your date, your parity and stop bits, etc. You need 5. Select 5. Press S once and R once. So send and receive at 1200 baud, that's the default. And enter that. Go into C for chat mode. Type AT. You should get an OK back from the modem. So 2 lines now. You need to type in on your first setup AT dollar SSID equals, and then type in, excuse me, wait a minute, type in your network name there, no quotes, and then enter. So you do it like this, and then enter that. I won't do that because I've already done this setup. And then the next one, once you've entered that, AT dollar pass equals, and then your password for your network. No quotes again. Password. And then do that. And then at the end, AT and W and W. That will save your current settings. Again, I've done that, so I don't need to do that. Once you've done that, that stays in there. So you don't have to do that again unless you change the network. So next up, you need to connect to the network. So ATC1. There you go, it's going to connect to my network. Connected. So a little surprise here, we're going to have a look at some teletext. There is a group of people, along with the Centre for Computing History, that are maintaining a very small teletext system, just for use in the museum to show the young ones how it used to be before the internet. So we're going to get that up. So you do ATDT, that's for dialing out, glass tty.com :6502. You do 6502 or 6503. One point to note, the screen captures in black and white because I'm using the composite output on the beeb, which is black and white. You can do a colour mod, but it's not the best quality anyway, so I left it alone. As you'll notice, doesn't look much like teletext, does it? What we've got to do next is escape. Press Shift 3 or hash to change the comms mode to press L mode. Go into I for initialize. Make sure send and receive at 1200 baud. Keep you past it. I'll pass it again. And that you have number 5 selected as before. And enter that. Back into C for chat mode. Enter. You'll get a nice colourful graphical display. Let's just get it up on the main TV, so I can prove that it is in colour. Another SCART. Okay, NHS payoff. I may end a bit of dispute in England. That's a good back to work plan. Budget back to work plan to cost £70,000 per job. Chancellor schemes will only recruit small numbers at a high cost for think tank forecasts. Think tanks. Love these think tanks. Causing more problems than us all. Next. Just keep it in return to load the next page. Doesn't do numbers, doesn't pay. You can do page numbers if you know what it is, but they're not exactly the same as they used to be. So we get back to the main menu. Press 0. Oh, sorry. *0. Enter. And this is back to your main index. Let's do an example weather forecast. News and weather again. Actually, back to the main page. So if we go to page 801, start 801, that's the Centre for Computing Histories page. There's details about the museum based in Cambridge. Enter. There's what they offer you there. So you've got a collection of computers, education visits, exhibits, consoles, computers, calculators. You can hire computers. So there you go. I haven't been there myself yet, I wouldn't mind going, to be fair. Anyway, to get out of that, press escape, take you back to your comms listening, and go back into comms mode. So, what else can you do with this? Well, believe it or not, there are still quite a few BBSs available that still work on the old phone lines, but also you can reach them nowadays through a Wi-Fi modem. Let me just get that back on video so I can see when it goes off. I've dialed into a couple myself, but I haven't signed up to any yet. I need to find